I'm Kelly, and welcome to The Ones to Know. Today, I'm with Matt Richard, who I am so happy to have in the studio with me today and at our company. I wanted Matt to come to Kuper from the second I met Matt. Thank you for being here.
Of course.
So, where will I start? There's so many fun things we can talk about. But first, one of the most amazing things about you is everybody that I know, anybody that I ask, or they say, Matt Richard, they say your name, they know you. Everyone is like, he is the kindest, nicest, most patient, very super informative. Every showing goes well. Like, for those of you that don't know, that is so hard to do. Like, we are in a very ultra competitive environment. Agents are, somebody always gets hurt feelings along the way. You have just bypassed all of that throughout your whole career.
It takes work. It takes work sometimes.
How? I need to take notes.
But I don't know. I think the one thing we can always show up with is a good attitude, and what I try to do is not pass on, whether it be the stresses of a deal, the stresses of a personal life or whatever, to translate through my actions, because I think clients can pick up on that. Clients can pick up if you're in a bad mood or if you're stressed or if, whatever. So I think, kind of instilling confidence in them and that everything is going to be fine and that, we handle things as they come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's just like something so calming about your energy and your voice. How do I get this?
I don't know.
Is it you're running? Is it
If only I were still running, I could say that was it. I don't know. I think I've always just kind of had this.
You've always been like this?
Cool, calm, collected. At least I try to.
Stylish.
And then even when I'm not, I try to portray it. I try not to let too many people. I don't really wear my emotions on my sleeve, I guess, in a way that.
But it doesn't. It's like authentic still. It doesn't feel like you're hiding anything or that you're not acting as you would normally feel. Like, you have mastered that. I just love that about you. It's always enjoyable to be around you. Yeah, you're just incredible.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll stop. Let's talk about how you keep it up, because you have two littles.
I do.
And a lovely wife, and your house is on the market. Am I supposed to tell people? And it's been super fun to talk to you about that, because we forget, unless we are doing a transaction ourselves, we forget what our clients go through. So
For sure.
Talk to me.
For sure. It's been interesting. You're right. Being on the other side of it, you realize things that we ask our sellers to do all the time.
Yeah.
Can you get this done? Can you get this washed? Can you get this cleaned up? And we don't think twice about it.
We jump in the car. Bye.
We expect them to kind of jump on it. And you kind of forget they have lives going on too. They have kids. They've got places they need to be. And so it's been super interesting. Having to get our house prepped for the market, looking like we don't have kids, especially getting it photo ready was, it was a challenge.
Well, because we're like our own worst critic too.
Totally.
So then because we do see those nightmare countertops with all the things on it,
sure.
Now we're like completely.
There were some many back and forth between me and my wife of like, can you keep this on the counter? I was like, no, take it off. People don't want to see that.
I think that, because of what we do, we tend to really take that to the next degree.
And we just do it every day, so I think sometimes we don't bat an eye, but then, when you're on the other side, you're like, God, this is a lot.
It is.
And I'm stressed, and I don't know how we're going to get this all done by the time we have photos, but we made it happen.
Yes. Well, I'm excited. I mean, you have perfect taste, so your house is very, very beautiful. You're going to get it offer quick and all the things, but I just think it's super
Hasn't been
fun.
so quick. It's been slow. It's been slow, and I think that's another kind of just reality check for me of you can present it as well as you can. You can get it prepped as best as you can. You can price it with, what you think is in line with the market. In the time where we're in right now, it's just like it's been slow. We've had a few showings in a couple weeks, and even we thought we were going to get more than that.
I smiled because you are getting the full seller experience, right? I mean, This is what they go through. They think, I'm going to have all my showings in the first weekend or first 2 weeks. And then it just doesn't quite, it's not as busy as you think. Everybody thinks their baby's ugly and they're like, what's wrong? And then it's kind of like off the cliff into this, doomsville, like we get in our head and they were like, no, it's fine. I didn't really want to sell anyways. And then it's hard. It's just hard.
It is a roller coaster of emotion for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you have that going on. And then also you've had a fantastic year in real estate. Your business has been growing year over year naturally. What do you attribute that to? Kuper. Just kidding.
Very partially to Kuper, for sure. But I think
we love having you.
real estate is such an interesting business. I had a great first half of the year.
Yeah.
The second half has proven to be more challenging. And so, it's kind of a reminder to just never take your foot off of the pedal.
That's the hard part.
I think it's because when things are going well, the last thing on your mind is prospecting and where's my next client going to come from. But you just always have to keep moving and like, have as many balls in the air as you can because some are going to drop.
Yeah.
And so it's like you just try to stay busy because, that also I think conveys to clients. When you feel busy, they think that you're doing well. And I think, I don't know, it has an interesting effect of just, business coming to you and just there are people who you can work with for a year and then all of a sudden 2 or 3 of them you'll get under contract in a row and you're like, where did that come from?
Yeah. It's momentum.
Yeah.
And you have to that's what's hard about what we do. You have to always kind of be ready for that, but also prepared for when it's not.
Right.
And we're supposed to always be busy and be in it. But then when we do get a bit of downtime, we want to rest because we're so tired because we've been running. So, it's a tough balance, the behind the scenes of a day in the life of an agent. So, but you've done a great job. And, do you feel like the busy part of the year that you had was because of the end of last year? Or do you just think that clients happened to have lined up, or was there anything in particular?
Partially, I think it was big efforts from the previous year, but then, half of it I think is just like the stars just kind of aligned.
Yeah.
There were the right houses that popped up, the right motivation in the clients, and then they all just kind of jumped on it at the same time. And so, it made for a great February.
Yeah.
But
okay, I'm going to be the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
You kill it with your social media. As you know, you've made me completely change one of the things that I always say. But then you had a cyber attack.
Yeah.
We're going to make it sound as good. And then it went down.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that your business was affected because of that?
I wouldn't say my business, but certainly,
leads and conversations
and just engagement. You kind of get, I say I got put in Instagram jail because I did get hacked for 6 weeks. And so I had 6 weeks of inactivity, and I think that hurts the algorithm in some way. And in a way, I feel like I've been trying to kind of chip back at it and almost be more consistent than I was, to try to pick back up my engagement to where it was before that happened. But
has it changed?
It's a wild thing. It's so up and down. It's kind of like any other lead source where it just ebbs and it flows. And there are some months where I can get a handful of leads. There's some where I can get, 5 leads from one particular post. There are other times where I'll go 2 months and like nobody will reach out from it. So again, it's just kind of a pillar I have in my lead generation strategy. But I think for a while I almost kind of rested on that.
Yeah.
Took my foot off the gas in other areas.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a good reminder of,
the stool.
You can't always put your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Tough lesson.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're so good at it. And I don't think people realize the amount of time and really creative brain you have to really put that together. And even I thought that too. I'm like, that was a great reel. You walked through the property and you threw it together. You're like, Kelly.
Not always.
That took me hours.
Yeah.
And the music and
That's
the
it.
lighting and all the
That's it.
things. And so you really do a good job.
Yeah.
So
and I enjoy it. Thank you.
Yes. All right. What is to come for the later part of the year? Doing any?
Trying to just finish strong. Like I said, it's been tougher. I've had a tougher second half of the year for one reason or another. I've had a couple deals fall out. It's tougher to hold them together right now.
Yes.
And I think just the way that the year has been for most agents, things are just taking more patience.
Yeah.
Buyers have more options than they've ever had. So they're spending more time per property. And when they really find one that they like you may go look at it a second time. You may go look at it a third time and get an extra inspection or two. And it's taken a little bit more to get people comfortable with writing an offer.
Yeah.
Rates have kind of hung high and it's just been this interesting kind of storm of, just really kind of putting some effort to get deals to the finish line.
It's so true.
Been tricky.
Yeah. And then I feel like there's the added layer of uncertainty of a buyer's job, especially when we are having so many tech jobs move here to Austin, and we're reading about that every day in the journal. And then, oh, sorry, there's layoffs. And so I think it's also the sector that's very concerned about, buying a house and the longevity of staying here and, the cost of that. It is, an expensive city to live in.
It is. It is.
Yeah. What neighborhood do you specialize in the most?
So I try to, I stay pretty central. I tell people I work pretty much 30 minutes either direction of downtown. So Austin proper is generally where I like to
30
focus.
minutes of downtown? Does that go up to Georgetown?
No.
Okay.
No, I think Georgetown, you're probably at least 50 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty much anything with an Austin address.
Okay.
We'll venture out to Dripping Springs and Lakeway when needed, but
Yeah.
I try to stay focused on the core central Austin areas.
Yeah. I mean, how do you stay on top of all of that inventory? It's a lot to keep,
It
preview,
is.
make sure you're on top of for your buyers.
It is. I think some of the biggest, again, a lot of Austin's premier inventory is held off market.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a 1-2 punch for me, because all of these off market tours that get held once a month or bi-monthly, it's beneficial because you're going to see things that you may have a potential client interested in.
For
but
sure.
B, I film content from them. And so in those days, I can go and film 5 or 6 houses.
Yeah.
I can now speak to those houses. I can speak to their floor plans and their finishes.
There's so much.
And if I don't have a
value.
client interested in it, I'll make a reel for it and see if I can find one.
But then I've noticed that agents that consistently preview, you almost always get business, because in whatever event you are, or you're at kids' sports, whatever, you'll just mention it in conversation. And like, oh, there happened to be this one or this new kitchen style or something that you've seen. And then it sparks a conversation about real estate in an authentic way. And I think it's a real miss when agents don't preview.
I agree. It's just like you said, if it happens outside of work, it's a great, it kind of proves that you know what you're doing and that you're on top of the market. But then also, like, when I hold open houses and people come through, I can speak to other houses in the neighborhood and say, oh, have you seen this one? It may work better than the house that we're in because of X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
And then half the time I'll set up appointment, either later that day or the following day to go show them the other house that we mentioned.
Yeah.
So yeah, it helps.
Matt, I know you work with a lot of buyers, and there's so much to show them, and to make yourself stand out as a top buyer's agent in the area, which you are. And I think buyers are being more cautious because of the NAR rules. They want to, interview multiple buyer's agents. What is your process?
It can vary. I think it varies depending on where the lead comes from. If it's a referral or a handoff from somebody who knows you or that I've worked with before, it's a little bit easier because you kind of have that, that nod of approval in a sense. Kind of circling back to social media, that's different because those buyers can come to me from wherever.
And you haven't built that trust in that
and you haven't built that trust and you're just an Instagram account. And so, that takes a little bit more time. I kind of relate it to a dating app because,
so true.
They start asking questions about the house. And then, while you're trying to provide them information, you're also trying to qualify them. You want to make sure that they, have a grasp around the market, that they actually plan to move to Austin, or if they live in Austin, they're actually serious buyers because, a lot of people kind of just waste your time and just ask questions to ask questions. So it's kind of like trying to qualify them and then narrow down what is it they're really after? Because generally, if they come from social media, it's usually not the house that they sparked the conversation off of.
Oh, okay.
And so it's either it's not in the area they want, it's not the price point they're looking for, and so then you're kind of back to square zero and trying to get as much information from them as you can, and then kind of tell them a little bit about myself, obviously, and the brand that I work for, and kind of show your competences in terms of what you're bringing them, because a lot is off market too. So that's always kind of a good angle as well. You know that there are houses that they haven't been able to find publicly.
I'd say that's one of the most unique things about the Texas real estate market, Austin specifically, that it's all about those relationships that you have with other agents, knowing the properties first, and our whole like shadow market inventory is quite a thing. And I think that is what keeps the buyer's agent valuable.
I agree.
I think that is a huge win.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think too, it's relationships with other agents are huge,
Yeah.
and I think more so in Austin because of that reason. Because if these houses are coming soon listings aren't even on the private market sites,
True.
You're going out to your agent network and saying, hey, I've got somebody looking for this. Does anybody have something in your back pocket or coming soon that may not even be where I can find it?
Yeah.
And so that's super beneficial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's so fun. But makes it challenging.
Yeah.
If you're not in the know, you're out.
You're right.
And so
true.
that's where the ultra competitive vibe of our city of real estate is something that I wasn't even expecting coming from the West Coast. I mean, you would think we were like in Beverly Hills or something.
You're right.
But
we're on our way.
Pricing is there.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Okay. What do you think about the prices in Austin? How long have you been in Austin?
I've been in Austin. I've lived in Austin for 10 years.
10 years. Okay.
I've been in real estate. I'm in my 6th year.
Yeah.
2 years with Sotheby's. So I didn't pay attention to Austin housing really until I got into the business.
Yeah.
And I got into the business just before COVID. So,
okay.
I was kind of learning as a new agent when the spike of COVID happened. So, I mean, it was a crazy environment to learn in, to kind of be a new agent in. But I think the pricing overall, certainly it's come down from the peak. I think we all knew that it was unsustainable.
Yeah.
And so when it did come down, I don't think any of us in terms of agents were surprised. And I think it was healthy, because it was getting to a point, people were just throwing out offers left and right, waving this, waving that. And
it was a brutal time.
It was a brutal time. And really the only people who had fun were sellers,
Exactly. It was
we were running left and right, 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Sure, it was fun at points, but it was
clients trust that, like, should I pay $100,000 more for this house,
right,
or even up to $1 million over,
right.
And to we're like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you
want it, but
I mean,
you better not need to sell, and
it was horrible, and you're like, don't call me in the future. I mean, I do think that we are lucky that we are still seeing appreciation in the 3 to 5%, but it's nowhere near the 40 that we saw, and sellers still live with a bit of that mindset.
Some of them,
I think some of them are starting to come around,
totally.
Thank goodness, but they don't want to lower the price.
They don't want to lower the price. I mean, some sellers, I think, are more in tune to kind of what is going on and where Austin currently stands, and those houses are selling. Yeah. The ones who are taking a little bit longer to come around to it, their house is probably going to sit unless it's really something special.
Yeah. When's our market going back? I'm kidding.
It's on the way.
Yes, it does feel like we're bouncing along the bottom. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I feel like when I'm looking at the numbers, based on the offices, it feels like some weeks re-inspired.
Right.
Buyers are out, they're making offers, and sellers are happy. And then we'll go through these lulls again for a couple weeks. And so that to me tells me we're bouncing along the bottom, kind of trying to figure it out, balancing out. So
I agree. I think the way that I frame it to most of my buyers, I say, look, I think we've reached the bottom, and what I expect the next probably few years to look like is a trend sideways with a slight appreciation.
Yeah.
I do think our market is starting to pick up. It is a slow pace, but as rates continue to come down, which I think they are, and I think we'll see them drop further next year, I think it's only going to help. It's going to get more and more buyers off the sidelines. It's going to put more eyes on every listing for every seller, and I just think it's going to be a slow moving train for a little bit, but I think it's going to be in a positive direction.
Yeah. What is the number one thing you hear that buyers say why they want to move to Austin?
I think quality of life.
Yeah.
Just overall, I think Austin has so much to offer in terms of culture and activities and green space and water and restaurants and music and all of the above. And so I think, for young people especially, and people in their early in their careers, it's a great place to raise a family. We have a great school system.
Yeah.
And so I think just, a lot of it, kind of all the sum of all of its parts, I think make Austin just a really attractive place for people to move.
Yeah, true. It's kind of hot.
In here in Austin.
Hot
yeah,
in
it is. I grew up in South Louisiana. It's
True.
nothing I've never ever known.
Is it a bit
It's
more
way
humid
more
there?
humid.
It
Way
is.
more humid.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you'll start to sweat walking to your car from your front door.
Okay, so this is nothing.
So this is
So
nothing.
this is like I'm
but,
talking to a Houstonian right
I
now
think-
who's
I
always
think you
like,
just get
Kelly,
used to it
this
over
is
over
not
time.
humid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had a bit of a break this year.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think our
Way
summer
better.
was pretty mild.
Way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. It's just, I should be wearing my boots and fall sweaters right
it.
now, Matt,
We're
and
not.
it's 90.
We're not. We're
Yeah.
not.
Okay. So what do you think that you will implement in your business next year? Do you see anything coming down the pipeline that you're going to do a little bit different?
I mean, I'm always trying to change
Yes.
and like implement things
You
that
are
make
very
me more efficient.
innovative.
A lot of kind of strategy behind my social media and the way that I kind of harness it and all that comes through it, to make it a little bit less effort personally and to put a little bit more automation behind it without being too much.
Yeah.
Because I think
And still keeping it authentic.
yeah,
to who
I
you
think
are.
part of the reason why I convert so many people from it is because I am literally the one talking back to them.
Wow.
And it's not some automated, yes or no question to try to get them to somewhere. It's I'll take a look at their profile. If I recognize the place that they live, like I'll mention something from it or,
Yeah.
and just kind of have this human aspect behind it.
Yeah,
And I
never gonna
think
be able
that
to replace that.
just allows them, to feel that they can trust me more quicker.
Okay.
And two, yeah, I think I've been kind of toying the idea of what's next for my business and do I take it beyond just myself, looking at a hire or two. And so we'll see what next year brings.
Yeah. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple of fun questions.
Come on.
Instagram, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs up.
TikTok,
Not on it.
LinkedIn.
I think I know better. I just already spend too much time on my phone. If I got a
doom
TikTok,
scrolling.
I think my wife would have an issue.
The thing about TikTok though, I can never like sneak watch.
For sure.
It's like
For sure.
blasts you. You can't like mute it.
Oh, and you'll be there for an hour and you're like, God, I felt like this has been 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
I think I know better. Currently I have a line drawn in the sand that I will not.
Facebook.
Good with keeping up with people. I think I keep up with my friends from my hometown and things like that.
I so want to kill my
And it's
account.
more like from afar. It's not interacting. It's not necessarily commenting, but you just, you see everybody's birthdays, you see the trips that they're taking, and it's just like a way to kind of keep tabs on people.
Okay. I'll try to stick with it.
Yeah. Not in a stalkerish way,
No. But like,
That's
yeah,
friends
it's
way.
true. It's either like my high school buddies
Mhm.
or my great grandparents.
Your grandparents, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Okay. LinkedIn. Did you answer that one?
I am on LinkedIn. I don't do a ton with it.
You post? No, not
No.
regularly.
Not really.
Okay.
Probably
Snapchat.
should. No Snapchat. Maybe in high
Way
school.
too old.
I think so. I think so.
Thank God. But they have the best filters, just so you know.
Do they?
Yeah.
No, I'm not a filter guy.
No, because you look so good. All right. What other fun questions? Morning person? Niall.
I struggle to be a morning person.
Okay.
I used to be a morning person for so long, and then you get out of the habit
Ah.
of it, and it's so tough to get back, and especially with young kids.
Yeah.
Mornings are so chaotic for us. So it would have to be super early to where I could sneak off to the gym, come home, and they're still sleeping.
Yeah.
If one
Is
of
that
them,
like 4 a.m.?
oh yeah, it's way too early. Is why I'm not currently a morning person. Because if one of them's awake and I'm awake,
Yeah.
you can't leave. They
Aw,
wouldn't be attached to your house.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Having, you're a girl dad, so
Yeah.
it's all about dad.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay. What else? Beach or mountains?
God, I'll have to go mountains.
Mountains.
Yeah.
Okay. Pickleball or tennis?
Never tennis. I've never played pickleball,
No?
surprisingly.
Ping pong?
I'll play ping pong.
Are you good at it?
I'm good.
Pickleball might
I
be your
used
new
to play
thing.
tennis, competitively in middle school. And so,
Okay.
it's always kind of been this fun hobby and just a way to kind of keep in shape.
Yeah.
Now that most other sports I cannot play anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't jumped on the pickleball craze yet.
Yeah. I haven't either. Well, I'm terrible
We should
at
probably do something.
my hand. Yeah.
Like a Kuper tournament.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
We like to, after that kickball thing.
Yeah.
Matt,
I think
you
we
killed
realized.
it. I mean,
I was hurting for weeks after.
we have to talk about
You
pickleball.
know.
Matt's a superstar. Turns out I can't catch the ball, kick the ball, do anything. So Matt had to cover my area too. Killed it.
Yeah. Teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
that ball is so flat. It's so
It
hard to
was.
throw.
It was tough. I mean, I went in there very confident, thinking that I was just going to dominate, and was quickly humbled as well.
It is not the elementary game I
It
remember.
wasn't.
How rude.
It wasn't.
Yeah. Do we need to try dodgeball next
But I
time?
think those other teams, like, they practiced,
Okay.
I think,
so that's
for
what it
weeks
was.
leading up to it.
Weeks.
And I
So we need to
think-
start now.
Yeah. And we just kind of walked in there thinking we knew what we were doing.
I didn't even have my shirt on.
It showed we did not.
Show we did. We had to do the walk of shame, but it was fun.
It's okay that
we had fun. We had
We
fun.
did.
Yes, and thank goodness for you, scoring our 2 goals we had. Okay.
Called runs.
Thank you. Not goals. What other sports are you into?
I don't really play any other sports. I mean, I play golf very, very occasionally, maybe a handful
It's
of
hard
times
when you have
per
young
year.
kids.
It is.
It's like
and it just
5
it
hours.
takes too much.
Yeah.
It takes so much time, and it's always on weekends generally,
Yeah.
which is when we're working or, when we have time with the girls. And so it's fun when I can get out there.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching tennis. I grew up playing hockey, so I like watching
really?
hockey, but
Hockey in
I have
Louisiana.
yeah, I have watched less and less sports as the years have gone on.
Yeah.
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 Just
Okay.
just part of it.
Are you into movies?
We are into movies.
Shows? Are you watching The Golden Bachelor?
We're not watching Golden Bachelor. We just restarted The Morning Show
Oh my gosh.
on HBO, which is
Love it.
great.
Yes. Are you glad Corey's back or no?
I love Corey.
I know. We're
I
glad
do
he's
love
back.
Corey.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
Love
are you
his
watching? I
character.
need to-
And then I'm trying to think. I will sit alongside my wife while she watches some
You're not going to claim it.
yeah, we'll call it trash TV, reality TV.
Yes. Which one is she into?
And it can be entertaining, but can also,
Yeah.
yeah.
How about the real estate shows?
I watch them.
Aren't they fun?
I
Don't we
do.
love to watch
I
the
do.
lingo that the
You
other
know-
agents are using?
Say it again.
The lingo that the other agents are
For sure.
using. So we're like,
It's
ooh.
yeah, it's interesting to see kind of how different markets operate. Obviously, you can kind of see through some of the BS that goes on. You're like, that isn't actually how it happens, but it's cool to see houses in other markets and also kind of like also the pricing. You kind of relate it to Austin or not, or so they are fun.
Some of them have gotten
They are
pretty
fun.
ridiculous.
Pretty
but
ridiculous
I
and like way
love
more
it.
drama than real estate.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
They're like, this house is great. Let's sit down
Right.
and talk
Right.
about it in our shoes because we can't.
we're all
walk.
wearing our stilettos to the brokers open and the
But
open
even
house.
the men, it's
Yeah.
interesting. The vibe that they have, like on
It is.
what is it? Oppenheimer Group?
Oh yeah,
Is that the name?
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they have more of their guys kind of featured, and it seems like they'll have little tiffs, and
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Not in our office.
Not
of
in our
course.
office or even
No.
here.
I am
like, I
anti-drama.
love how casual Austin is.
Yeah.
Like I don't always dress up like this to go show houses, and I don't think you have to. So it is kind of nice.
It is. Do you usually dress up for the first appointment and then kind of based on the client change?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I think, I'll dress up most of the time because I also think it has an effect on how you kind of hold yourself and show up
So
to a
true.
meeting.
True.
But yeah, you can get down the road with some clients that you've been working with for months. And,
Yeah.
I think I showed up to a showing yesterday in my workout clothes because it was kind of a last minute deal. And,
Yeah.
you stop worrying as much about that
Yeah.
the longer you're in it.
It'd be hard for men because do you wear a sport coat or do you wear like a golf shirt or like what is too dressed up? It's 100 degrees.
It's
Like,
100
what
degrees.
are you wearing?
Linen in the summer is great. But no,
Really?
I don't
You can't
think.
sit in the car with that.
Yeah, you just have to get over it. Because I did not wear linen for so long for that reason. But yeah, I think you'll wear a jacket when you need to, and I think you kind of know when you need to.
Yes.
But I think most of the times just a button-down shirt is fine.
So I'd love to know what a day in the life of Matt Richard looks like.
Day in the life.
Yes.
So as I previously mentioned, mornings are chaotic.
Not up
in
at
our,
4.
in our household.
But chaotic good. When you post the mornings with your daughters,
Yeah.
it's like
They're special.
my favorite. Yeah.
It's our oldest, will find her way to our bed somewhere between 1 and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so we'll wake up, she'll be in our bed. And so that's always cute. She is our kind of like little empath. She's very cuddly, very touchy feely. And,
Sweet.
so it's a very, very sweet way to wake up. And then our youngest sleeps in her crib, but mornings are a mess. We try to, they're both in daycare.
Okay.
So we're cooking breakfast. My wife's doing hair. My wife works from home, so I'm also the one that leaves the house. So she kind of gets them ready in the morning. I'm doing my thing, and then I'm driving the girls to daycare drop off, which is always special. And we're currently jamming K-pop to Demon Hunters. If you wanted to know the soundtrack, that is over and over.
Okay.
I'm in the office by generally 9:30. I kind of use the first couple hours of the day to kind of just get acquainted, catch up on anything that may have come in, overnight, hot sheets on the MLS, kind of see what's new to market, just kind of get some activity and see what's going on. And then, usually schedule appointments for the afternoon if I have any.
Yeah.
So those showings can take place anywhere, really anytime. I mean, we're on our client schedules more or less.
Yes.
And
Do you
so
find that they want to see stuff in the evenings still, or does it tend to move weekends?
It just depends.
Yeah.
It depends on them. It depends on their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of them who can look at stuff in the middle of the day, or moms who don't work.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they'll go see it, and then if she signs off on it, we'll get the husband over there.
Yeah.
But it can be all over. Weekends are obviously very heavy with showings.
Yes.
If not showings, open houses. So generally a lot of activity can get pushed to the weekends, but I try to handle as much as I can during the week.
Yeah.
And since I'm not a morning gym person, I will generally go to the gym whatever time my afternoon will allow me to get there by, usually 3 or 4, work out for an hour and a half, and then I go pick up the girls from daycare. And then it's home, and it's, kind of also juggle. Yeah, I mean, my wife works full time, and so we're juggling. She'd also does have a job that's not a 9 to 5. And so it's tough for us to turn off, especially if we have things going on. So every night can also be different. Who's cooking dinner, who's bathing the girls, who's doing this, who needs to work. And so it keeps it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. It's hard to be married to an agent, but it sounds like her career might just be as hectic. So maybe that balances
she's
it.
not an agent.
Yeah.
But just works in a career where it doesn't just shut off at 5, and they've got deadlines to meet and
That's
things
probably
like that.
why that works,
and after
right?
hour stuff. So at least we both understand.
Yeah.
When you need to get something done.
Yeah.
I can carry the load.
Because that's one of the hardest things, is to get a non-agent to understand what life looks like when you're with an agent.
To answer this phone call.
I'm sorry, we're at dinner at the nice restaurant, and I'm going to be incredibly rude, and I need to respond.
She's very gracious. She's become very gracious.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. So that's a day in the life. And I know you guys travel a lot because you have family in San Antonio and family back in Louisiana, right?
Louisiana,
Yeah.
And we've actually traveled less, I think, these last couple years, just with the girls being so young. Yeah, we'll go to San Antonio because it's a quick hour drive to see.
And families on the other end, so you're like, here.
Yeah, exactly. That allows us to take a date night sometimes to go do something. And then, I try to make it home, at least a couple times a year. And then we also try to sneak in vacations and things like that. But it has become more difficult.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's, as the busier we get with real estate, it is even harder to find time away, especially when the market is acting, a little bit all over the place.
Yeah.
It's hard to time those times where it's okay, I'll have a little bit of downtime to take my family and go away. So
we all know that downtime does not stay downtime. I mean, I think, the saying that when you leave town, your business takes off, for some reason,
that worked
rings
for you?
true almost every time, which I'll take. But you're taking those calls and emails on your vacation. So
I know. Again, understanding family members because it's always the most work when you're on vacation. Okay. I love that. Do you cook sometimes, you said? Or
I do cook.
Okay. What do you cook?
I used to cook a lot more.
Really?
I think
What
when
do you
my
make?
wife and I were dating, I was more the cook. She's certainly kind of taken that over.
Okay.
I'm more, I don't go by cookbooks. I don't go by recipes.
You're one of those.
But it's a little bit more simple.
Okay.
Like when I cook, I try to keep it on the healthier side. So it's generally, a protein, a vegetable, and maybe a base of rice or some pasta. But my wife loves to follow recipes.
Okay.
So she'll get out a book. She'll have something picked, in the morning of what we're going to have that night. And so she'll get what we need, and she enjoys that. So.
Yes. And I can tell you get excited too. There was
For
a
sure.
day in the office where you're
I'll
like,
always-
I already know what's going to be on the table for dinner.
I'll always take the night off. So yeah, it's fun.
I love that. I like to cook, but I think baking is better because at the end of the day, it tastes so much better.
I've got the world's biggest sweet tooth.
You
And so
do?
my wife was a baker.
Fun fact.
I'd be in trouble.
Favorite dessert?
Ice cream.
Really?
Just ice cream.
What flavor?
I go for like a butter pecan or something like
A
that.
little bit of a crunch
Yeah,
in there.
maybe a toffee type something.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good to know.
nothing crazy.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to see what you do. You have been building your career so well. And I know that you feel like the second half of this year has not been as great as your beginnings, but I have seen so much movement in your business in terms of just how you communicate with clients, all of the, showings you're doing, all the work you're doing is there. Just planting the seeds. Yes.
Yeah.
So keep it up. And we're so excited to have you at Kuper. It's such a blessing to have you on the team. You're
Thank you, Kelly.
such a good person.
It's been a pleasure.
Yay. Okay.
Awesome.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.